Welcome adventurers to the start of a devlog for my upcoming game. Brace yourselves for thrilling showdowns where time bends to your will at the tap of a button. Immerse yourself in heart-pounding battles where every spell woven and projectile dodged unfolds in breathtaking slow motion. That's the magic you'll experience in my work-in-progress game, Timagi. Before we dive into the heart of Timagi, let me share a bit about myself and why I am kicking off this devlog. Hello, I'm Thomas. I've been immersed in the world of software development for quite some time now, but my love for game development ignited from day one of learning programming many winters ago. While my background is in software development, my passion lies in creating arts and music, and game development allows me to bring all of these elements together. Whether I'm programming, illustrating or composing, it's always fulfilling and never gets boring. And even with limited funds, there is no doubt that this is how I want to spend my time, chasing my dreams with every code, pixel and node. I started developing my very first game, DEVLOG, while still learning programming and fiddling around with Unity in my free time. It's been all learning by doing, which also meant redoing all the code and graphics I have done before, again and again, trying to keep up with what I learned. I also did every graphic, animation, effects and music by myself. That's why, even though it's just a casual mobile game, it took me over multiple years to complete, always striving for unreachable perfection. DEVLOG was a labor of love, but sadly, it didn't quite reach the audience I hoped for. That's on me. I didn't spend any time or resources on marketing, because I thought the quality of the game would convince people, but also because I didn't have any financial means to spend on marketing. In the end, only like 10 plus people downloaded it from the Google Play Store. It was heart crushing, but I've learned a lot from that experience, and now I'm here to change things. Alright, let's talk about the star of the show, Timagi. It all started as a school project, trying to make the top-down shooter game that I always dreamed of. At the end of my study, I basically had a complete game with 40 levels, an engaging story, plot twists, various enemies, boss fights, mini-puzzles and the slow motion mechanic. But you could play through the whole game in about 30 minutes. Also, there was only one type of shooting spell. I was still full to the brim with ideas for new features, new spells, new enemies, etc. So, during developing it further, I quite changed the core of the game, away from being story-driven towards more replayability through various game modes and magic spell systems. Before each run, you select a spell weapon that can be upgraded during gameplay. However, these upgrades reset upon death. Plus, you'll always have access to slow motion and a limited secondary ability, ranging from push forces to freezing enemies to placing a self-firing turret and more. But the main hook of Timagi is the slow motion feature. It's a crucial part of nearly all roguelike-ish top-down shooter games to have a dash implemented for dodging enemies and enemy bullets, mostly being invincible for the short moment of a dash. These kind of games can get visually overloaded pretty quick, with sometimes hundreds of projectiles and enemies floating around the screen. I think that my slow motion feature offers 3 nice benefits to all of us. First, you have much more control while dodging projectiles, being able to squeeze yourself through enemy lines. Secondly, the slowed down time gives you a short moment of clearer overview of the battlefield, being able to plan your next movements ahead. And thirdly, it just feels absolutely amazing and powerful to do it. I implemented it in a way that though the enemies slow down, the player itself keeps its momentum, further underlined by some zoom and visual effects, as also an audio drop. As to the recording of this video, I also implemented 6 different kinds of spell weapons so far. I am often a bit disappointed of roguelike shooter games if they seem to have a wide range of different weapons, But every weapon in its core is the same principle, only differing through things like range, shoot frequency, damage, etc. And all the upgrades you get are basically just stat updates like plus 0.05% damage. I try to make each weapon in the game a unique experience, changing the way the player approaches enemies and the game style in general, while still keeping it simple. I am also aiming for more than just the typical setup of entering a new level, shooting at anything that moves, and then moving on to the next stage to repeat. I want each run to feature a variety of level types and objectives. For instance, players might need to protect friendly NPCs from waves of enemies or fight side by side with them, navigate levels filled with tricky traps, or even ride on a lure. My goal is to create diverse and engaging challenges throughout the game. Because this is just an introductory video, I will explain the systems in more detail in one of the next devlogs. Also tell you more about the enemies, bosses and struggles of a game dev life in general. So I guess this is a good moment to remind you to like and subscribe my channel, and of course to wishlist Timagi on Steam. As for Timagi's current state, it's still a bit of an open book. While I know it would be good to have a clear and definitive vision for the game, I also know that my creativity thrives in the process of making the game. Sometimes a little bug that comes up while working on a feature turns out to be a new awesome game mechanic. I want to take you along the journey of developing Timagi with me, to see it evolve over time and hear your thoughts and feedback. But I am not used to making videos like this yet, and I have to admit, producing this took me a lot of time. So I don't know yet how often I will upload new content here on YouTube. Because of course, making the game is what I want to do. These videos are just to share some of my enthusiasm for it. Thanks for joining me today, and hopefully wishlisting Timagi on Steam. I will leave you with a quote by Hermann Hesse. Jedem Anfang wohnt ein Zauber inne. There is magic in every beginning.